Well, for starters, Elon Musk became the world's first trillionaire this week when SpaceX began trading on the Nasdaq, pushing his net worth to approximately 1.1 trillion. The internet in the world is in an uproar, obviously. So I do want to ask you, do you feel like it is the responsibility of someone who has worked to accumulate their wealth to give it away or give back to everyone else?
Well, define work because Elon did not work to get $1 trillion. the, I need people to read. Like, I beg of you to read. Google is free. Wikipedia is not a reliable source, but there is some information that will have some references in there for you. You can't use it in a school paper, but it's a good start. Okay, maybe type it into a Gemini or something. Elon's daddy worked. His granddaddy worked, but Elon comes from wealth. In the same way that people think that Trump was like this brilliant businessman because his daddy was a businessman. And listen, I'm not saying that just because your family comes from wealth that you can't be brilliant or that you can't work hard or that you can't create something new. It's just that Elon didn't do any of those things. He's an investor. He did not invent electric cars. He did not invent space travel. He invested in companies and grew them and did a bunch of unethical things along the way that you can read about on your own. We don't have enough time to get into all of it. But this idea that he just was in there digging ditches is erroneous. You know who was digging ditches? The people that worked in his daddy's emerald mines. That is who was digging ditches, not Elon Musk. Elon is an immigrant who holds multiple citizenships because he is from South Africa. His mother is Canadian, and he just became a citizen, and I think in like 2000 or 2002. So he's an immigrant that came here, completely took advantage of the system, doesn't pay taxes. What does that sound like? It sounds like one of those people that y'all are all mad about. The reason that you're not is because he's white. And because his great-granddaddy was pro-apartheid, which passed down to his daddy, which he clearly passed down to him when he was whooping his ass, which is probably the reason that Elon is the way that he is.
Yeah, people don't know about his dad and his grandfather. Like, if you ask someone about Elon, they're just going to say Tesla.
Well, of course, or they're going to say SpaceX, and because that's all that Elon means to them. And listen, to be clear, I have a Tesla, and I got it way before we found out what a weirdo Elon was. Okay, and I'm not getting rid of it because the thing is paid off. So you not getting. I'm riding that thing until the battery falls out. However, I don't think that because someone has amassed wealth that they are obligated to give to charity, that they are obligated to give back in any way. Now, I think they should.
Right.
And I do, but I don't think they should be obligated to do that. I do think they should be obligated to pay their share of taxes. I think that they should be obligated to pay back into the system that they took advantage of in the way that all of us who are not able to take advantage of the system to amass wealth have to pay into the system. That is the part that I think is fucked up. That is the part that I think the American people, and for that matter, people around the world, are having a really hard time understanding. These people that amass these massive amounts of wealth do so because they take advantage of a system that we as the people, because there are more of us than there are of them, that we as a people allow to continue to exist. And people cheering for this situation as if it is somehow going to trickle down to them. These people cheering about somebody becoming a trillionaire while not paying their fair share back into the government, back into the place that they came to live, that they came as an immigrant to live. Them not paying back into the country it is like chickens cheering for KFC. It makes no fucking sense to me. I am someone who likes making money. I plan on making a lot of it. I also give back a lot of my wealth and a lot of my time because I feel that it is the right thing to do. I don't care about them doing the right or wrong thing. I care about us making them pay back into the system that they used to create that wealth. That's what I care about. And if that's too hard for your little brain to understand, I don't know what to tell you. They should be taking advantage of you. The thing that pisses me off is that I haven't figured out a way to take the people that think that trillionaires are close to them. I haven't figured out a way to take their money. Once I figure out how to take your money, it's a wrap. And believe me, every day I wake up thinking of a way to do it. When I get that money, everybody's in trouble. Everybody. but I got a ways to go. And believe me, you got a longer way to go than I do. Nobody is close to being a trillionaire.
No,
Other billionaires
insane.
are not close to being a trillionaire. So it's mind blowing to me that people are okay with a system that does not force those people to pay back into society. That is the part that bothers me.
I think that's very different than just handing the money off to just people.
Well, we can't make people support charity. You can't make people have empathy. You can't make people want to want better for the world. And certainly someone like Elon, who's made it very clear who he would like to have things in the world and have space in the world. I can't even imagine what things he would support if he was to give back. He'd probably fund the Klan. So I don't even know if I want him putting his money there. There was a time in society where the elites were positioned like there was an air about elites that made them pour back into society. They built museums, they built theaters, they built parks, they built public spaces. And to them, it was the biggest praise to have a hall, to have a banquet room, to have a park, to have these massive spaces, these massive monuments named after them for generations and generations and generations. And guess what? We still have them. And their names, these legendary families that amassed amount of wealth, not always the right way, poured back into society because that was a legacy thing for them. That is no longer the case. Elites are not building museums. They're not building parks. They're not building schools. They're not creating these lasting generational things for the future that will kind of put them in permanence of a good name, even if they were up to no good. So that part is interesting to me because that thing has shifted in society where we all as people don't put the pressure on them to create those kind of legacies. They don't care about that anymore. There used to be a time where it was like a contest. Like, oh, well, did you hear so-and-so's family has a park dedicated to them? They have a park. We must build a Arc de Triomphe. Like, they just would compete with each other to see who could give back more. Not because they necessarily cared about giving back, but because they wanted to preserve their family name, and it was a wealth competition. That doesn't exist anymore, which is a shame because they used to fund artists, and now they fund genocides.